on the most general level, what, let's say, people that are into the invisible world and understanding that let's say the root structure of our physical world exists in the non-physical. So people into that mindset or school of thought, you could have a general agreement that there's our physical body and then there's various subtle bodies or various layers to our subtle body or bodies. And we could have disturbances or imbalances at any number of layers that then ripple up into form and cause physical imbalances. So I would say there's a large group of people out there that have that basic paradigm. So within that paradigm, then there's a lot of places you can go. We could start with beliefs and our thoughts. We can start with the subconscious mind. Of course, in the last 15 or 20 years, let's say, there's been a growing awareness of energy. We can balance our chakras. We need to free up our kundalini. There's imbalances in our energy system. With the work that I do, what we're focusing on is what's going on this karmic layer as it relates to physical imbalances. So again, our basic framework is we have a fully enlightened soul living outside of time and space, projecting its pure and perfect light into form. It's being refracted by a lens, which refracts our light first into liquid light and then into what we experience as solid. So our soul's highest expression is to have perfectly in balance resonant physical form, to have the perfect physical vehicle for us to lead a joyful life in form and for us to share our gifts in the world and support others and make the world a better place, right? So that's our soul's highest expression. Anything less than that means that we have karmic imprints on the lens, which are distorting our soul's light and causing distortions and imbalances to show up in our physical body. So all that said, how about a specific example? A little bit earlier, we were talking about the lightworker's persecution imprint. We were talking about being burned at the stake or other experiences of persecution in past lives. So one experience of persecution that a lot of lightworkers have is the experience of being tortured. So at a karmic imprint level, it creates an imprint for torture. And one of the ways that that can manifest is that our physical body is an instrument for torture. Our physical body is an instrument for pain and suffering rather than pleasure. So we've got this karmic imprint over there, and the way that that manifests in our physical body is chronic pain, is unexplained chronic pain. Is chronic pain, we go to this doctor, we go to this specialist, we go to this acupuncturist, we do all the right stuff. We're doing energy, we're doing all the stuff, but we're still in pain because fundamentally there's an imprint, which is our body is a vehicle for torture. Our body is a vehicle for pain and suffering. So in the work that I do, what we want to be doing is clear that karmic imprint, right? I'm so sorry they tortured you. I'm so sorry your body is a vehicle for pain and suffering. I'm so sorry your body is an instrument for torture. So we can have intense, let's say, kind of torture, like huge amounts of pain. Let's say I've had any number of people go through my programs, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, these types of things, people on a pain scale, 8 out of 10 every day for years, taking maximum pain meds. So there's some people going through one clearing, other people going through a few different clearings, where all of a sudden their fibromyalgia is completely gone. They're no longer taking any pain meds, or their symptoms have gone from an 8 out of 10 to a 2 out of 10. We're clearing those imprints, clearing those distortions, so then our soul's light can shine through, which is our body is not an instrument for torture. Our body is not a vehicle for pain and suffering. Our body is here to support us in living our most joyful life and sharing our gifts with others. So there's a lot of layers to the subtle body or the subtle bodies. There's a lot of great knowledge and tools at all these different layers. And so, where I focus most of my energy is working on this karmic layer, which essentially is located at the edge of the auric field. So in Hinduism, they have the term the linga sharira, which is the part that is less subtle than the soul, but more subtle than the physical body, where we carry our karma between lifetimes. When I first started doing this work, I didn't know what the linga sharira was. I hadn't heard that term. I wasn't studying Hinduism. I didn't know that framework existed. I had my own direct experience of how reality works. And then later I learned, there's this thing called the linga sharira. And I know from my own personal experience and working with, many thousands of people at this point, exactly where it's located. It's right at the edge of the auric field. It's essentially the most subtle part before we get to the soul, before we get to unmanifest reality, which again relates to the lens framework. It's essentially that bridge between unmanifest and manifest. It's the lens that's refracting our soul's light, where the more we can clear out those karmic imprints, the more soul's light can shine through clearly in every part of our life, including in our physical body and our physical health, where we're no longer in pain or suffering. We're no longer having various imbalances. We have health and vitality and great energy levels, and our body's part of a support system, bringing more pleasure and joy into our life rather than, an instrument of suffering.